Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys an update to my Hero deck profile. For those of you guys who don't know, Heroes is just a long time pet deck of mine. Just absolutely love this one. Been playing it ever since I was a kid and through all of the years that this deck has evolved. So really cool to sort of see how the deck has sort of changed over time. We're actually getting new support like within like a week or two with the new Wing Karibo level 6, which I think will be a really great, like probably just going to be a one of in the deck, but I think it's going to be really cool. I'll go over my thoughts for that. And I'll probably eventually update the deck to include that card as well. But for now, I just really wanted to get this out because I've been testing out with this deck for a while now. Also, a couple quick shout outs to number one Team Samurai X for just sort of profiling this a few weeks ago, got me back on the deck, as well as a shout out that he did in his video, which was Blake Hero. If you guys don't know about Blake Hero, he is sort of a newer YouTuber. He's got over 1,500 subscribers already, but he does like exclusively hero content. So if you guys love heroes like I do, go ahead and check him out and subscribe to him. He's got amazing content, a very competitive hero player, so he's not just doing it like as a lark, like it is his pet deck. Very good stuff. And then also just a shout out to an old Patreon member, Scott, who kind of gave me the thought to pick this deck back up. But without further ado, please subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I would really appreciate it, and let's get on into the profile. So I know that there's a lot of different deck profiles out there for heroes. I think my list is fairly standard with a little bit of innovation, but I'm going to go semi-slow so you guys can sort of get the gist of this. So we're playing our 3 copies of Stratos. With Stratos, it's pretty obvious. You're playing 3 of him. He is your main starter of the deck. You always want to be going for him off of a Hero Lives pretty much all the time. And then with him, when he's special summoned or normal summoned, you get to search for any hero from your deck and add it to your hand, which is amazing. And then he has a secondary effect also when he's summoned that you can destroy spell and traps on the field up to the number of other heroes that are on the field. Doesn't come up too often, but it still definitely can come up. For other elemental heroes, we're also playing 1 copy of Liquid Soldier. This is low-key one of my favorite cards in the deck because he's so versatile. He's got and if I show you guys combos at the end of the video, you guys are going to see Liquid Soldier can bring Stratos back from the graveyard, and Stratos is not a hard once per turn. So when you bring him back with Liquid Soldier, it just allows you to get a second search for a hero. So normally what you do is you use Stratos, or another card is going to search for Liquid Soldier, and then normal summon Liquid Soldier. As long as you special summoned Stratos off of a Hero Lives and you still have your normal summon, you're going to bring that Stratos back, and then you're going to get that search. Otherwise, if you don't normal or special summon him and you use this card as like as a fusion material, either from like your hand or banish it from the graveyard like you're using it for your Miracle Fusion, then you're able to draw 2 cards and then discard 1 out of your hand, which is really great. It can draw you into more board breakers or whatever else you need for the turn. Moving on, then, we've got our 1 copy of Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is just another really versatile card. It's got 2 effects. One where it's special summoned. You get to add your change quick play spell to your hand, which is normally going to be Mask Change. And then you also, if it's sent to the graveyard, you only get to use 1 of its effects per turn, kind of like Liquid Soldier. But the other effect is that if it's sent to the graveyard, you get to search for any other hero. So also just a really great card. It gives you another Stratos-like effect. And then we are playing the 1 brick in the deck, which is going to be Elemental Hero Neos. Also, this is a 42 card deck. You do play a few bricks in the deck, so stuff like Neos, and you're going to see a couple of the other like spell, trap cards, stuff like that. It's cards that you don't necessarily want to draw and that you can easily search out. Then we're going to get on into the Destiny Hero cards. We're playing 3 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious. It's been a little while now, but this card is back at 3. I don't know if it's going to stay, but for now he's not causing too much harm in the meta. You know, there's a lot of other bigger problems out there with like Snake Eyes and stuff. So 3 Malicious, not too much to say there. And we basically have our honorary Malicious, which gets you like 4th and like basically a 5th copy of Malicious with your Destiny Hero Denier, which is just amazing, being able to spin 1 of the Malicious back to the top of the deck. And then we have our 1 copy of Plasma. Plasma is an amazing card, especially now that you have your 3rd Malicious. it just allows you all of those extra bodies to be able to guarantee that plasma is going to go out. A while ago when you were playing the hero deck, before we had all the different ways to special summon everything, it just seemed like plasma was a lot harder to get off, and you would do all of these combos. You'd make maybe some fusions and you get them on the field, and then like you'd try to like tribute them off and like maybe another random hero or two on the field to be able to get out plasma, and it just didn't feel as good. Now we've got all these different ways to combo around, and you just tribute off like a malicious or whatever. You tribute out 3 guys and you get a one-sided skill drain. It's just amazing. Next, getting on into the Vision Heroes, we have 3 copies of Ferris. This card, next to your Stratos, is your other best monster in the deck. He's just super duper good, being able to special summon himself to the field, and then he gets your whole rest of your Vision Hero engine going. Then we're going to get on into our 2 copies of Increase. You definitely want to play 2 copies, because if you draw one of them, your entire Vision Hero line is ruined. Then we're playing 2 copies of Vion. Again, you just kind of want to have 2 copies of Vion, and also it's not too bad on its own. I'll maybe do a combo video on another day where I go more in depth on some of the combos. But in general, if you just open up a Vion, it actually can open up some decent combo lines, and you can essentially land on some pretty good stuff. So I'm not going to get into those right now. But yeah, just drawing Vion off the top, kind of like a Stratos or something, really isn't as bad as it would sound. Then the best spell card in the deck, A Hero Lives. It's the best card that people love to Ash Blossom, but still you got to play it. You know, if you just open up Stratos, normal summon Stratos, and do some combos, it works out just fine. But if you open up with A Hero Lives, basically the end board is you get to end on like Sunrise or the Wonder Driver Link monster, and then you get DPE, Dark Law, and Plasma, and then you also have your favorite Contact Trap card, which then lets you get into your like Shining Neos guy. So A Hero Lives, like that is all off of a 1 card combo. It is just absolutely insane. Then we're playing 1 copy of Emergency Call. I'll show you guys in a bit what I took out. I took out 1 copy of a 3 of to make room for one of the Emergency Calls. I just think that this card is too good. It's basically like another copy of A Hero Lives. It basically gives you like, I think like 8 different ways to get to Stratos. So really just having all of those different avenues for getting to Stratos is just amazing. Your 8th copy being basically your Rhoda. So you have Emergency Call, Rhoda, 3 copies of A Hero Lives, 3 copies of Stratos. And I mean, basically, like if you get your Ferris online, Ferris is going to allow you to get into a bunch of, you know, it's going to special summon. It's going to get into a bunch of stuff with your like extra heroes, with your Cross Crusader and stuff. Cross Crusader is then going to allow you to search for a hero. You can then get to Stratos. So you're basically playing 11 Stratoses at that point. It's just insane. Emergency Call just gives you a little bit more consistency. Then we're playing 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This card does come up sometimes where you're just happy to draw it. You can pitch Malicious, Destiny Hero Denier, or maybe even Shadow Mist to the graveyard just to get some stuff going. Then getting into our fusion sort of cards, we have our 1 copy of Miracle Fusion. Absolutely love this card. I wish I could play it at more, but you just don't really need it. It's searchable by your Sunrise, but again, you just don't need more than 1 copy. I was in contention for a while if I wanted to play 2 Miracle Fusion or 2 Polymerization, but it kind of kept coming up that Polymerization seemed like the better card. The reason for this, off the top deck, Miracle Fusion is going to be the better card, but Polymerization is not only like a good card to top deck if you have a couple monsters available, but also it's going to be a starter for you. So if you open up with, like, let's say you open with a clumpy hand of Denier and Malicious and you don't really have any combo going, if like the 5th card that you draw for turn when you're starting out is Polymerization, then that means that you get to go for a DPE, and then you're going to have your Destiny heroes to be able to like link up into a Cross Crusader, and then like you can kind of combo off from there. So having 2 Polymerization along with your 2 Vions, like I said, the Vion line where you just normal summon Vion, it actually gives you 2 Polymerizations because that is not a hard once per turn, and just a bunch of other stuff on the board. So having the 2 Polymerizations, it can come up to where you're going to need that. And just again, like ripping it off the top, if you have some other stuff, or if you like rip a Vion, normal summon Vion, and you have like a Malicious left available in the graveyard, that's actually not going to be too bad. Like you Well, okay, so Vion and Malicious aren't really going to synchro or aren't going to fusion in anything, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, you've got a Vion, you've got a Malicious, you can maybe link summon into another Cross Crusader, and then you can poly and do some cool stuff. So there's definitely applications for having 2 copies. Then 2 copies of Mask Change. A lot of people play this at 2. I think that that is the perfect ratio. If you end up opening one in your opening hand, you can still search the second one with your Shadow Mist, and then just having 2 available for you to be able to go into like a second Dark Law or your whatever other Mask Change monsters you play. I play the Masked Hero Blast, so being able to go into Blast, and then if you do need to use all 3 of your Masked Heroes, you can always get the one of them back for a third use by your Wonder Driver. So always want to remember that you have Wonder Driver to bring back basically any of your fusion spells. And then the one of the cards that I cut so I could play the Emergency Call was my 3rd Fusion Destiny. Now this is another card I could probably talk about for a while, but Fusion Destiny I kept finding and testing. I don't find it to be really that great of a card anymore, especially with how easy it is for you to get your Destiny Hero monsters in the graveyard. Basically, your standard combo is going to make you go through Stratos into your Vision Heroes. Your Vision Hero, and then like you also are able to get your Malicious in graveyard because you're going to end up searching for Polymerization with Vion, and also when Vion is summoned, it's going to dump a Malicious to the graveyard, or it's going to dump your Denier to grave. So basically with that, like, it does what Fusion Destiny is doing anyways, and Fusion Destiny is going to lock you into only summoning Dark Hero monsters, and that's kind of rough because your main combo lines are going to be running with a lot of lights and also like one or two wind monsters. So in general, Fusion Destiny, it's not great off the top. Fusion Destiny on its own, I believe, ends you with a Plasma and a DPE on the field, which is still fine, but in this day and age, if you open like Fusion Destiny and then like board breakers that are doing nothing and like no other monsters to combo, like you open like a Vision Hero Increase or something and Fusion Destiny, that's just not going to be a very impactful end board. Whereas if you draw basically any of the other cards that are going to get you into Stratos or anything like that, it's going to just end up being a lot better of a final board, and you're going to end up with the DPE anyways. So that's why I feel Fusion Destiny not that great. If you top deck this on like turn 2, turn 4, whatever, if you're going that long, oh my gosh, this card just does nothing because your entire, like, all of your monsters are already out of the deck, so it just doesn't do anything. Then we're going to get on into 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. I sort of went more for board breakers than for hand traps, as you guys can see. So we're playing 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent as well, and then 1 copy of Triple Tactics Thrust. Thrust is really great in here because it's going to be able to search you for a bunch of other targets. If your opponent already has a monster on board and they use like an Ash Blossom on you, when you use an emergency call, you can always go Triple Tactics Thrust, pick up a Hero Lives, activate that, and then like just combo off from there, and it's just going to be insane, which is really cool. 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is in here mainly for like Ash Blossom, because if your opponent Ash Blossoms your A Hero Lives, it's going to feel really bad because that Ash Blossom basically just ripped a card out of your hand and dealt you 4,000 damage, which really, really hurts. Then we've got 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This is a card that's just a great board breaker, and it's not going to set off your opponent's Triple Tactics Talent or Thrust, so that feels really good. And then lastly, we're playing our 1 copy of Favorite Contact, which is super duper searchable through our extra deck, so that's just really great. For the extra deck, we're playing our 1 copy of DPE. This card is just amazing. Does so much for the deck, and I did not really realize how great this card worked in tandem with Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. When Wake Up Your Elemental Hero came out, I should have definitely gotten right back on Heroes and started playing. I didn't really understand the value of it, but it is so, so good because it gets you directly into your Dark Law, which is like the best card in the deck. Then we have our 1 copy of Dystopia. You just kind of got to play it for time, and it just gives you another option to be able to go in for another Destiny hero. Then we have our 2 copies of Dark Law. At first, when I started playing this, I really wanted to cut it down to 1 just so I could play more names, like maybe play a Masked Hero Acid. But in general, you just got to play 2 Dark Law. It does come up, and it just feels really good. If your opponent like wipes your board, like they're playing Dark Hole, Regeki, Lightning Storm, whatever it is, and they knock out your Dark Law, but you still have like a set mask change, and let's say you have like a Malicious or something random in defense position, then you just go into your second Dark Law and they're like, oh shoot, well I just got rid of my like 1 removal card. That sucks. So that's just really, really fun when you get to do stuff like that, or just coming up on the crackback on your next turn. So then we're getting on into 1 copy of Masked Hero Blast. For those of you guys who don't know, you generally play Blast as like a really nice method. If your opponent is gonna hit your Stratos with Imperm or Valor or something, then you just go ahead and you chain your mask change, get Stratos off of the field. He's no longer going to be face up on the field. You go into Blast, and now your Stratos is going to be able to resolve, which is why you play like 2 copies of mask change. I know that it's searchable with your Shadow Mist, but in general, you just want to play the 2 copies because, hey, it can help provide some disruption as well. Getting on into the Elemental Heroes, we're playing 1 copy of Absolute Zero. This card is amazing. You still always want to play this, and when it comes to like my full combo, which I'll show you guys at the end of the video, what I like to do is I like to end on Wonder Driver, because Wonder Driver is going to end up giving you your Miracle Fusion back, and then with Miracle Fusion, that's going to help you to just like on turn 2 for you, you're going to go into Absolute Zero. That means that whatever board your opponent established when they were trying to crack through your board, if you survived and you got to your next turn, you're going to get a free Absolute Zero because of your Miracle Fusion, and then because of your Liquid Soldier, you're going to get that extra draw 2, discard 1, and that's also just going to help set you up for success on your second turn, which is just going to be amazing. Then we're playing our 1 copy of Sunrise, 1 copy of Infernal Rage. I kind of did this backwards because, as you guys will see in the combo, you go into Infernal Rage, you search for your favorite trap card, and then you tribute this guy to special summon out your Sunrise, and then Sunrise is going to get you to your Miracle Fusion. So it's just really amazing, these 2 cards. It's like you use Polymerization to get into him, and then Polymerization gets you like into a body on the field, and then it gets you a trap and a spell card. It's just amazing. Absolutely love how these 2 guys work together. Then we're playing our 1 copy of Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, and our 1 copy of the Shining Neos Wingman. Love this card as well. Just sort of a great combination of a bunch of like very nostalgic cards. Then for the Link monsters, we're playing 2 copies of Cross Crusader. This card's absolutely insane, and it does come up where you want to play 2 of him, because what happens actually sometimes in testing, I was testing this deck a lot against my my personal Sword Soul deck, just as I'm just sort of dinking around at night, and what kept coming up was that you play swords in Sword Soul nowadays, you play Ghost Ogre so that you can stop like Tenpai and stuff like that. So if Ghost Ogre or something like that ends up being in your opponent's hand, you go ahead and you normal summon you special summon Cross Crusader, use its effect to bring back your Destiny Hero monster. Your opponent hits this with Ghost Ogre because that's like just one of the best pieces of interruption. But if you have 2 more like monsters that you can link away, and you know you've got Malicious, so you always have bodies, your Malicious is then going to be able to like two Malicious or whatever, 2 bodies is going to be able to go into another copy of Cross Crusader, and then the new Cross Crusader can just pop the Destiny Hero monster that's on the board, and it's going to be able to get you back into your full combo, which is going to be amazing. Then we're playing 1 copy of the Infernal Devicer. This card is literally just in here to search for your Neos out of your deck. So you reveal one of your guys that says that he needs Neos in his card name, searches you Neos. It's super easy, super nice. Just all of these different cards that search you for all of your bricks are just so important. Our 1 copy of Wonder Driver, I wish I could play it at 2, but basically I just place a little bit of stock, not a ton of stock, but just a little bit, in trying to protect it, making sure that it stays on the board, and making sure that I don't like link it away or tribute it for plasma if I don't absolutely need to, because this card is going to get you back into your like fusion spell cards, which is sort of like the name, and like this is what you're trying to do in the deck, is get your fusion guys out there. And then lastly, one copy of the Dread Decimator. If you really want to, you could swap this out for a second copy of Wonder Driver, but also in testing, he just came up a bunch where it's just like, okay, I really want to close out this game before my opponent cracks back at me next turn. I'm just gonna link up into him and just bash over everything, and you close out the game just super clean. So anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the deck profile. Let's get on into the combos. Okay, guys, so for this 2-card combo that we're going to be doing, this is the standard, like, maximum combo that you can do with heroes at the moment. So in general, what you're going to need is a Hero Lives, and then you're going to need any 3 of these cards. So these are your important 3 cards, and one thing that's really cool is that you guys are going to see when we get to like step 7 or something in the combo, we're going to have a board of 3 monsters, and then all 4 of these specific cards are going to be in the graveyard. So that's, if you're kind of trying to remember as you're doing this combo, just remember these are the cards that you need, any combo of these. So we're going to sort of do like the one that kind of looks the worst, which is going to be Denier. All of the rest of the cards are in our deck, and then let's say that you opened up with like 3 other copies of like Forbidden Droplet or something, just a bricky hand. So we're going to open up, we're going to activate a Hero Lives, and then the Hero Lives is going to allow us to special summon the Stratos from the deck. Stratos is then going to search us for our Ferris. So again, if we if we opened up with Ferris, then here we would have searched Denier, or we just would have searched for Malicious. Again, this part at this moment, any of these can interchange, but again, we still have the Denier in our hand. We're then going to pitch the Denier to be able to special summon the Ferris. And then with that, we are going to put the increase into our spell and trap zone. We're then going to use the increase to pop the Ferris and then special summon itself and the Vion. Vion is then going to trigger, allowing us to pitch the Malicious into the graveyard. So again, here's what I said. Those 2 cards can kind of interchange. So depending on which one we had in the hand and which was still in the deck, we can flip-flop either of these. And then, like I said, we're going to have 3 monsters on the board. And then you're going to have the 4 cards that are kind of your home base. These are going to be in the graveyard. So this is a great point to kind of like snapshot in your brain and be like, okay, I'm at this part in the combo. This is what I want. So just always remember, you get the pitch with Vion, and then after Vion pitches to the grave, that is going to be where you're at your home base. So then our next step is we're going to banish the Ferris to be able to add our Polymerization from our deck to our hand. Just one like sort of going on in with all of the different searches that we get off of here, getting into like our really nice searchable cards. Then we're going to go on into a Link Summon for Cross Crusader with our 2 Vision Heroes. I just sort of like to do the Vision Heroes at this moment. With the Cross Crusader, then we're going to bring back our Destiny Hero Denier. Now you could do either of these, but again, I'm going to give a shout out to Blake Hero. He made a really great point in his video a while back, which was that doing Denier is a really great sort of like a pro move to be able to go into, because it's going to play around Bestials in your opponent's hand, or even if your opponent has like a Called by the Grave set. That's another really big one. Like if they're trying to just disrupt you and be like, oh, I don't want like the Cross Crusader to like get his search effect off, then like they're going to hit the Denier and banish that with the Bestial or the Called by the Grave, whatever it's going to be. And then you just have your Malicious and like your entire Malicious line to be able to just banish and then summon a Malicious and then just use Cross Crusader to like get rid of Malicious. Like Cross Crusader does not have to tribute the card that it brought back. So just keep in mind, like targeting the Denier, targeting the Denier to bring back off of the Cross Crusader is like a very, very smart move. It's going to play around Bestials or something like that. Your opponent's going to maybe try to trigger this because they think that it's going to be smart, but in the end, you're going to get so much more advantage off of Malicious anyways. So anyways, what we're going to do here then is we're going to pop the Denier, being able to use him to search for our next card, which is going to be our Liquid Soldier. Grabbing Liquid Soldier here is really important because that's going to allow us to, like I said in the deck profile, it's going to get Stratos and extra search, which is going to be really, really amazing. Then we're going to go for our next search, which is going to be to link these 2 off to go into our Infernal Devicer, and then that's going to allow us to search for our Neos. getting an extra boy into our hand. Now that we're at this point, we just have the Infernal Devicer on the field. We're going to normal summon out the Liquid Soldier. So again, we had the Hero Lives, which allowed us to special summon. We still haven't normal summoned yet. And I will explain later in the combo, if you don't open a Hero Lives and you just open Stratos and like Ferris in hand, and this was your normal summon, basically all that's going to change is that you're not going to have Plasma at the end of your board, but I'll get to that a little bit later. So what we're going to do here is we're going to normal summon the Liquid Soldier, and we're going to use his first effect to bring back the Stratos. Stratos then is going to search for our Plasma. Like I said, if you do the other combo where you didn't open with a Hero Lives, this is basically just not happening, where you get the Stratos search for Plasma for Stratos' second search. So hopefully that all makes sense. The next thing that we're going to do is then we're going to activate Polymerization with our Neos, and then Liquid Soldier, we're going to send those to be able to go into our Infernal Rage. So Infernal Rage is going to hit the field. When he's summoned, he's going to be able to search us for our favorite contact, getting off another excellent search. And then we're going to tribute him to be able to go into our Sunrise. Sunrise then, when is summoned, is going to search for our Miracle Fusion, another just amazing part. I just absolutely love how these two cards work in tandem together. It just like makes Polymerization feel like it gets you so much advantage. So that's just really, really amazing for the deck. I think that it's just so good. Then the next thing that we're going to do, we no longer really, well, okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our Malicious, banish the Malicious, and we are going to special out another one from in the deck. Then with that, we're going to use Denier. Denier is then going to put one of the Malicious back into the deck, and now we are going to take these two guys to be able to go into our Wonder Driver. Wonder Driver now on the field. We're going to banish another Malicious to special out basically the Malicious that we just shuffled back to the deck. That is then going to allow us to reset Polymerization to the field. There's a couple different times in the combo where you can do this, where you're setting the Poly to the field from the Wonder Driver, but just remember that you got to do that. And then at this point, you can Poly and then use Malicious and Denier here, going on into your DPE, one of everybody's favorite boys in the deck. Just super amazing. Absolutely love this card to death. Then what we're going to do is we are going to banish the Malicious to be able to get out our next Malicious. And then we are going to Miracle Fusion, taking two of our Infernal Rage and our Neos, taking these two guys and going in for a summon of the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. The next thing that we're going to do, you kind of have a little bit of a decision here. I think I alluded to this earlier in the deck profile, but basically what you can do is that you're going to have 3 bodies that you need to tribute off for your Plasma. So this is where you decide it's either going to be Stratos and Malicious and Sunrise, or it's going to be Stratos, Malicious, and Wonder Driver. Like I said, I really, really love having the Wonder Driver, being able to reset the Miracle Fusion, or whatever like spell card seems the best at the time. Like if you have certain cards in your hand that just seem like they're going to be better with Polymerization or something, or with Mask Change, whatever you want to reset to your field. I really like keeping the Wonder Driver on the field, and really the only reason why you keep Sunrise on the field is because he's going to give you added disruption, because if your hero monster gets attacked, when an attack is declared involving a hero monster you control, target a card on the field and destroy it. So like obviously like that sounds really, really cool, but the thing is, like, you have so much other disruption. You're going to have Plasma, you're going to have another Floodgate with your Dark Law, and then you're going to have DPE on the field as well, and then you're also going to have your favorite contact for disruption as well. So this is where I traditionally like to tribute these 3 off, and then go into Destiny Hero Plasma, leaving the Wonder Driver leaving him alone. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set our favorite contact onto the field, and now this is where we go to end phase. This is where you check if your opponent has Nibiru. So as you pass main phase going to end phase, your opponent is going to want to activate Nibiru to try to wipe the board. At that moment, like, Nibiru really doesn't affect us that badly. What we're going to do is we're going to tribute the DPE and the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. They're going to hit the graveyard. Nibiru would resolve. You're going to get your Nibiru token, and then after that we're going to go chain 1, chain 2, and then that means that we're still going to get Shadow Mist and Mask Change, and we're going to end on Dark Law. But let's just say, for instance, that didn't happen. Our opponent does not have Nibiru. we're going to go to end phase, and then while we're in end phase, we are going to use DPE to pop itself and the wake up your elemental hero, just like I said, and then we're going to go chain 1, chain 2 to resurrect DPE in the next standby phase. Then, as the chain resolves, wake up your elemental hero is going to special summon out Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is then going to search us mask change into our hand, and then while we're still in end phase, we can activate the mask change to special summon Dark Law. Now, I just make sure that I don't summon Dark Law to the zone that the Wonder Driver points to. I make sure that I keep that open, and then when we get into our opponent's next standby phase, we are then going to be able to special summon the DPE back to the field. Wonder Driver, now that it got a hero special summon back to its zone, we're going to be able to set Miracle Fusion. And then, as I said during the deck profile, that Miracle Fusion, when it comes to our turn, let's say that our entire board is wiped, we basically go Miracle Fusion, and then we get to go into our Absolute Zero, and we banish any hero, and then our Liquid Soldier from grave. So let's just say that we do those two. Banish these from grave, and then we're going to get an extra draw 2, discard 1 off the top of the deck. So let's just say those were completely random. I did not stage those, but these would be pretty nice. And then I would just like discard the Fusion Destiny, emergency call, and get Stratos. You know, all of that kind of stuff would totally work. So this is why I really like doing this combo, where I get to set those and have a little bit of follow-up on the next turn, as long as my Miracle Fusion doesn't get destroyed. But anyways, just to sort of finish off this combo, like I said, on our opponent's turn, we're summoning back DPE to this zone. We get the Miracle Fusion, and then if they're trying to just threaten battle on our Dark Law, because Dark Law only has 1800 defense, so let's say that they're able to summon out a couple of guys. They know that we've got DPE, so we can pop one of their guys, but they're going into the battle phase with like 2 guys that have over 1800 attack. We then just go into Favorite Contact. That's going to allow us to go into the Neos Wingman. We put these 2 guys back into the deck, giving us another fusion monster for later if we need it. Then when this is summoned, we're going to be able to pop several cards. We're going to for sure be able to pop 2 cards on the field, because we have lights and darks on the field. So then that is going to just be very, very helpful for protecting our plasma. We have a disruption here. We have 2 floodgates, and then also don't forget the disruption that Dark Law gives you, where you get to rip a card out of your opponent's hand, and you have disruption from your Shining Neos Wingman. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the combo. One other quick thing that I'm going to talk about is just like, again, this is sort of how we're ending on our opponent's turn, but the only other difference that is going to happen when you're playing and you don't open up a Hero Lives, and you're just doing all of these combos with Stratos, like I said, instead of summoning the Liquid Soldier back to the field, the only difference is that you're going to be pitching it to the graveyard with your Neos. And so then that is going to mean that you're not going to get the Plasma Search. So Plasma is going to stay in the deck. When you pitch the Liquid Soldier, that actually is going to give you that draw 2, discard 1. And then this is just going to be sort of how your board ends, is going to be with these cards. You're just not going to have Plasma, and you're actually going to end with an extra malicious, either malicious in deck or malicious on field. So you can either decide to use that malicious and special it, and then this is going to go into your Dread Decimator. So you can have Dread Decimator to sort of give some extra attack to your boys, or you can just go ahead, leave this out, leave your Wonder Driver, so you get to get that Miracle Fusion reset. And then that just means that on your follow-up turn, that means that you're going to have Miracle Fusion, possibly DPE, and you're going to have a Malicious in deck that you can still utilize. And the Malicious is going to get, it's not going to be on the top of your deck, it's going to get shuffled back around, because you are going to have your search for your Shadow Mist and your mask change. So your Malicious is definitely going to be getting shuffled back in. But that is just sort of how that all works out, if you guys were wondering. Opening Stratos is still just amazing. That's why I play like the emergency call. I still think that it is perfectly fine to play those. I put the wrong guy back out here. There we go. There's Plasma. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the deck profile and like the small combo. I might do another combo tutorial if you guys are interested, but thank you guys again. Again, big shout out to Blake Hero. I've really been enjoying watching his videos. He only has 7 videos up on YouTube right now, and he already has 1,500 subscribers, which is just insane. So definitely go ahead and check him out. And again, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.